Hello, friends and family, or whoever's listening to this podcast. My name is Dante Hunter. Today, I will be speaking about tankery. Tankery is a good subject I like to touch on every once in a while. Um, even if, um, even if it has to do with different tanks, World War One, Two, Vietnam, whatnot. So, um, Today, we are actually going to talk about Russian tanks. I'm going to talk about the IS series. I am going to use Tankopedia and other people like that. Um, so today, we are going to talk about the IS-1. Depending on how you say it, how you pronounce this person's name, uh, I call it Joseph Stalin or Joseph Stalin. Depending on how you say it, if you pronounce it Joseph Stalin, then it's an IS series. If you pronounce Joseph Stalin, it's a JS series. So basically, what we have here is a good old, um, good tank that is based off the KV-1S series. Um, original Uh, the origin of the IS-1 project came from numerous reports regarding the KV-1, even if it's faster version of KV-1S. Um, it the KV series had plagued a lot of problems like transmission issues and whatnot. Um, um, but Stalin nearly canceled all heavy tank development projects in 1943. But in the summer the Panther and Tiger were seen in action. Heavy tanks had to be important to both in protection and firepower to adequately cope with the new threats. Because if you follow the German and the Russian tank design, they're building bigger tanks. Tanks, sorry. So like the T-34 85, which had a good, I think it was 76 millimeter cannon on it, could pack a punch, but it would just go off. So in order to cope with this, they developed the IS series, depending on how you say it, the JS series, the IS series, whoever. There should be no arguments. Let's start off. March 1943, order specific, the rearming of the frontline tanks. Um, One of the guns intended for this war was the AA gun, roughly similar to the performance of the German 88 millimeter, or 3.46 inches, which had been disabled, captured, and the gun analyzed. Um, the stop the result was a stopgap of the KV-85, which is basically um the IS-1. If you see pictures of the KV-85 and you relate it to games, the sloping armor is about the same. This was only produced in limited numbers, only 143 machines. Um, the, the tank itself brought on a new series called the Joseph Stalin series, or IS or JS, depending on how you say it. The turret was brand new, and it actually later on, like the ISs and whatnot, you'll see in IS-2s, it's mostly like a IS-1 turret, except a lot more modified. The hull basically remains the same, the flat armor, but it was a little bit sloped. We'll get to that later. And like its direct competitor was the KV-13. KV-13, if you guys look it up, really nice tank. Actually, let me look it up right now. But I would say this is one of my enjoyable games. I play World of Tanks Blitz, and um, I love the IS, even though it's not historically accurate. It still did the best. But yeah, the KV-13 almost resembles the IS. So they took the hull off the IS and slapped around there, or the hull of the KV-13 slapped it on to the KV-85. Um, Design over this and whatnot. Um, Design of the IS-85 was I just issued, or this issue was a brand new slope hull design. Inspired by the KV-13. Like I said, the KV-13 basically they took it off and they slapped it on there. Stud armor and layout designed to deflect or resist shots at any angles. Um, the armor itself needed to be strictly thickened because it only could hold a 50 millimeter tank shell from Panzer III. But was not to exceed the weight limit of the original KV-1. The armament was the same. Internal KV-85, the excellent D5T 85 millimeter gun, which had far greater range and initial velocity than the previous F-34. Let's get to the basics of it. So basically, there's 3 people in a hatch at a time. So there's a commander, loader, gunner, and there's 1 driver. There's not a 4th one. There's not a radio operator. The radio operator was the commander's duty. And they stored machine gun in the back. I suppose, like if enemies decide to come in the back, you can just shoot them all off. This tank itself weighed a total of 43.5 tons, or to equivalent of American standards, 95,800 pounds. The propulsion was a V2 IS 12-cylinder diesel with 2,368 cubic inches per 39 liters, 520 horsepower. Top speed was 37 kilometers an hour, or 23 miles per hour in American terms. Its suspension was torsion arms, or whatever you call it. Range was 150 kilometers, or 93 miles. Armament was 85 millimeters, D5T, and a machine gun in the back. Armor thickness was 30 to 120 millimeters thick, or in American terms, 1.18 to 4.72 inches thick. Total was 207. Like I said, I'm getting this off Tank Encyclopedia. Great site. But if you go down, I encourage you to look at this thing. I encourage you to look at Tank Encyclopedia and you type in IS-1. It'll show you all the different designs and whatnot it used in the 44s and whatnot. I would say it's a really nice tank, but I'm glad I don't have to command one because that would be a pain in the butt. I just won't do it. Give you IS-1s in action. The first IS-1s delivered were issued to Guards Heavy regiments, reforming after summer heavy fighting. The IS-85 was issued to the 1st, 8th, and 13th Guards heavy armor regiments in Ukraine. These were heavily engaged in early 1944 at, I'm not even pronounce the name, Starokoveshov, Korsun, and Fastov station west of Kiev. Later on, most IS-1s were found engaged in Slovakia and later were given to Slovakians free units during the uprising. Production, or the IS-85 or Object 235 prototype started its successfully but rushed trials in May 1943. Production was assumed by Kirov plant. I'm not even pronounce the name. The first IS-1 um, rolled onto the line of October 1943, but it was stopped in January 1944. The IS-1 was quickly replaced by an old, better IS-2. IS-2, that's a really good gun. I'll get to that later in another episode. Because of this, only 200 to 207 were produced. However, it is considerably improved over the previous KV-85 and T-3476. The appearance of the new T-34-85 medium tank caused the IS series to evolve and logically upgunned. So in January 1944, so many IS-1s not yet delivered to the front line were upgunned. The IS-1s tested the new 100mm or 3.94 inches gun. It went into comparative trials with the IS-122 for bold to the latter. The new A-19 122mm or 4.8 inches guns had the punch to go through and the armor of a Tiger tank at medium range. This tank I absolutely love. I'm gonna just say that I love the gun on it, especially in Rolla tanks, Blitz. I love the gun. It does high damage and it penetrates almost everything. Like I said, almost at medium range. But yeah, so that's the tank itself, folks. I hope you enjoy this episode. Give me some suggestions on what I can do. Thank you, and have a great, great evening or afternoon. Thank you. See you soon.